Spurs just lost 134 to 109 to the Los Angeles Clippers. Uh, I don't know anybody who expected the Spurs to win the game. Um, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, uh, Lou Williams. These are not guys that I expected the Spurs to be able to guard, and yeah, they really couldn't. Let's see here. Kawhi Leonard, 26 points. He only played 27 minutes, 11 of 16 from the floor. He had 9 assists. I don't think he ever had 9 assists in a Spurs uniform. Somebody can check me on that, but I'm fairly certain he never did that as a Spur. If this game was close at all, he would have had a triple-double, probably. 4 steals as well. Yeah. That guy's pretty good. See, like, why can't the Spurs find a player like that? I don't know. Zubac was 7 for 7 tonight. Paul George they kept in check. 4 of 11, 11 points. But, I mean, bottom line here is these guys keep playing defenders who don't defend. Like, and they get switched onto guys like Kawhi Leonard. like it's not just like, oh, you can hide. You can't hide 2 of them at once on defense. That doesn't work. And there are going to be times where you have Marco Bellinelli trying to stay in front of Kawhi Leonard. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like there were parts of the Spurs attack offense that looked pretty good tonight. It was in attack mode. He always seems to be in attack mode when he plays against a team with Kawhi on it. There's definitely some amount of pride there. He had 24 points, but he had 20 in the first half. He really didn't do anything in the second half. And nobody played more than 25 minutes in this game for the Spurs because it was such a blowout so early on. Got 25 Marco Bellinelli minutes. That's the second game in a row. It's the second game in a row he's gotten like 25 minutes. He got 17 points in this game. So we can expect another 25 minutes from him next game. Oh man. Makes me sad. Because like he had 2 early shots and I was like, okay, here come the heat checks. And then he missed the heat check. And then he made 2 3 in garbage time. And this is by far his best game of the season. And it was a revolving door on defense too while he was doing this. But he had 17 points in a 25-point loss. So yeah, he should play another 25 minutes again. Lonnie didn't look great tonight. 4 points, 2 of 6 from the floor, team high 3 turnovers. Not crisp from the kid. But that's going to happen. And he was playing mostly in garbage time. Excuse me. But yeah, Marco's going to play 48 the next game and start at the 4. Yeah, I mean, like, listen, it's going to be hard for anybody, but like Lonnie Walker is a kid who, if he stays in the game and makes a few mistakes, that's fine. Like he's a kind of player, the way he plays, mistakes are going to happen. When you're traveling at a very high speed, accidents happen. But like he should have some leash to make mistakes. He had a turnover in I think it was the 3rd quarter of this game. He had a turnover where he was driving the lane, and he probably should have just gone for a hard layup, but instead he tried to pass it out. That pass got intercepted, and Marco Bellinelli was trailing the play, trailing the guy with the ball, and, like, gave him one of these, and he got the foul and dunked it, and, uh, and pulled Lonnie out of the game, but not Marco. Uh, so, like, I mean, watching this team play has been tough. Like, I mean, shout out to everybody who did it because, like, you could have been out tonight. You could have been doing anything else, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. But I'm also a little sad for you because, man, this team is bad. Um, yeah, Damari Carroll played in garbage time. Uh, he had 3 points. I mean, he played 8 minutes. Chimezie Metu also played 8 minutes. Um, I like Mezzi. He showed some flashes tonight. He also showed a lot of rough around the edges still. But yeah, it was cool to see him get a little bit of run. But I mean, Jakob Poeltl, 16 minutes in this game. He's been one of the most impactful Spurs all year, the entire season, and he's playing 16 minutes in this game. Bryn Forbes, 1 of 5 from the floor tonight. Trey Lyles, 0 points in the starting lineup. It's it's like what I genuinely just want to know like what they're doing. Like I would like to know what the plan is. I would I would like for somebody to make it make sense. Like I mean, you talk to anybody who watches this team. It's not just Spurs Twitter. It's not just, the 26 people in this chat right now. Like anybody who watches this team regularly is like, yeah, I don't know what's going on with the lineups. I see people talking about like, oh, they want to play Marco and build his trade value. I mean, now he's hitting some shots, so that's good. But I mean, the best way to build Marco's trade value, I think, would be to sit him down on the bench, let him play in quick spurts, let him hit a few shots every once in a while. Uh, and tell teams, "Oh yeah, he's still got it. He's still a good player. We just can't get him any minutes because of this darn Lonnie Walker kid. He's so good we have to play him. Feel bad for Marco. Want him to find a good home. Here, just a second round pick. like that would be how I would build Marco's trade value. That's how I would try to trade him because the more tape that gets out there on him, the less he's worth, I think, for anybody who's paying attention. Because like smart teams have figured out that this guy can't play defense. They can just run the offense through whoever is guarding him and get buckets. No, the whole year is not Marco's fault. Like, you know, people, you know, you know who I'm talking about, but there are a lot of people who are like, you know, anytime we talk about Marco, it's like, Marco obviously isn't the biggest problem on this team. No, he's not. But like, he's the dumbest and most preventable problem on the team. Like, like he's the one that they keep going to, and it keeps not making sense. Um, so yeah, it's been weird to watch this team, right? Like no Spurs fan is used to this. Um, like would not playing Marco have made a difference in this game? Probably not. Clippers still probably win this game by a big old bunch. But I'm just sick of watching this dude. And like, yeah, the Spurs got bigger fish to fry. Sure, they got bigger problems. Absolutely. I think they should trade some other people too. Um, like, like part of the problem with DeMar DeRozan, he played great tonight for when he played. First half, he looked really good. Offense. Excuse me. He looked really good on offense, but then on the other end, he was expected to guard Kawhi Leonard, and that's not something that he's capable of doing. It's not something that many people are capable of doing. But I mean, he's a sieve on that end. Um, Derek White didn't do nothing. Derek White had 10 points, 5 assists in this game. I mean, he's only playing 21 minutes. I don't know why like Pop talked about playing DeJounte and Derek White together. Pop talked about that. He was like, "Yeah, we want to do that more now because he's off the minute restriction." And that's not happening. Like they're not doing that. Um, but we got 25 minutes from Marco tonight, 20 from Patty, who deserves about 20 minutes. Uh, 19 from Bryn Forbes. And Rudy Gay also on the perimeter, not great. This team just has too many weak defenders or non-defenders. Um, and like there's just there's just not a lot you can do with that. You can't be super competitive in the NBA if you give up 134 points in a game. Like I don't care how many shots you hit. If you give up 134 points, you're putting yourself in a very bad situation. And by continuing to play these lineups, to play this rotation, there's so many liabilities. It's this team has liabilities all over the floor. Um, and they have some good, really good defensive players too. Jakob Poeltl, excellent rim protector. LaMarcus Aldridge doing a bang up job as a rim protector, 34 years old. Derek White, DeJounte Murray, Lonnie Walker. These are guys who can play really good defense. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's tough to watch, guys. It really is. Like, yeah, no, it does kind of look like the guys on the floor are getting sick of playing with some of these dudes. Like the body language has not been good past couple games. There was that conversation between Becky and Tim last night or night before with the Nets. That was funny. But that was after a Marco screw up. And like you'll see they gave up like 20 dunks tonight. The Spurs gave up like it was at least 17. It was probably closer to 20 at the end of the night. Um 20 dunks, and a lot of these are like on backdoor cuts where somebody just like, you know, just get caught watching the ball standing still. And you'll see like Rudy Gay looking around like this. You'll see DeJounte like kind of pissed. Like and I like that. I like that he gets pissed off because he, like, takes pride in it, and he's like, "What the hell are we doing?" Uh, and LaMarcus just kinda, like, puts his head down a little bit, but yeah, I just don't know what people are holding on to with this Spurs team. Like, why people are against trading a lot of it. Um, like, what about this team? What about this core, this DeRozan Aldridge core, is worth holding on to? I I hear people say like, you know, you can't play the young guys because then the Spurs will really stink. It's like Spurs really stink now. They're 11 and 17. They're not good. Like the idea that LaMarcus Aldridge and DeRozan need to be serious pieces for this team to be competitive. They're not competitive now. Like we're all watching this, right? At this point, yeah, I would like to see what Luka, Shamanich, and Keldon Johnson have. I'd like to see some more of Chimezie Metu. I don't know if DeMar is gonna ask to get sent packing, but I mean, maybe he will. Maybe he doesn't want to keep. Maybe it'll reach a point where he's like, "Look, this team's not going anywhere, and I'm in a contract year. And if you don't want me to chuck up like a whole bunch of shots so I can get numbers, so I can get paid this summer, that's cool. Trade me to like Detroit." Um, I think Aldridge might. I don't know. Um, there are the two extremes, right? There are the people that are like Pop Pop would never tank, and then there are people that are like Pop is tanking right now, playing Marco like on purpose. Like Pop is putting Marco out there on purpose. Uh, one to piss us off, to get on his burner account and just laugh at me. uh, I personally don't know which it is. I don't think Pop is stealth tanking. Um, I think this team is just actually bad. There's like like if the Spurs did trade DeRozan and Aldridge and Rudy Gay and Marco Bellinelli and they were 11 and 17, they'd be rebuilding. They would be tanking. But they're playing with DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge. And so they just regular stink. Not even stinking the right way. And that's the thing is like they're this close to a playoff spot still because the West is so weird at the bottom this year. But they're also like maybe a bottom 5 team in the league. If we just take into account like how good they've actually been. Cuz they've won a lot of close games. They've they you could argue that they've been worse than their 11 and 17 record. So, yeah, I think Detroit might be in play for DeMar. I think Charlotte maybe. I don't know. I mean, Orlando can't or Orlando couldn't hit the ocean if they fell off a dock in Florida right now. So, um, they could definitely use scoring help in any way. Charlotte is cruel. We know what happens in Charlotte. Michael Jordan plays these guys one-on-one in practice for sport. Like it's like the most dangerous game kind of shit with him. He makes them trade for washed up vets so he can just kill them in practice. I'm kidding. Uh, but like I mean, if the Spurs trade DeMar DeRozan, like don't expect too much back. Like that's not why they would do the trade. They would do the trade to get something, to get anything for him because they don't want to build around him and they know he's walking for nothing. If they decide, and I think they should, that they don't want to have DeMar DeRozan on the team moving forward, they don't want to sign him to a new contract. They should make that decision. Then it's like, okay, he's gone in the summer. Why don't we try to flip him for like anything? It's like using a coupon before it expires. Like it's worth nothing to you after July 1st, 2020. Um Aldridge is a little different because there's a little more time on his contract, and the thing with him is more a play style thing. Like, if Aldridge is willing to accept a role where he's not posting up as much and where he's playing complementary basketball, then yeah, he could be a good complementary piece with these guys. And that's when he plays his best basketball, when he is playing without the ball. That's who he has to be at this stage in his career. It becomes clear every single game that's played because it's either a good game where he's putting in work off the ball or it's a bad game where he's posting up against a brick wall and can't get anything done. He's literally like a below average post up player this year. Um, so yeah, I mean, if those are the Spurs' best players, if those are their most high usage players, this team has a very low cap of what they can accomplish. Like, okay, so they'll maybe sneak into the 7 or 8 seed and then just get disemboweled by one of the LA teams in the first round. I don't think they should extend Forbes. No. I mean, he's basically Danny Green with no defense. Like Danny Green, people wanted Danny Green off this team because of his shooting, the inconsistency in his shooting. Forbes has been just as inconsistent playing no defense. Danny Green's like an all-world defender. And he's starting. And he has to guard guys like Russell Westbrook from time to time. It's just ugly. Has he gotten over himself? Oh man. And at a certain point it's on Pop, right? Like we're almost 30 games into the season. Almost halfway through the season it feels like. We're almost there. And Pop still hasn't figured out which of his guys can and can't defend. And it's guys who have never been able to play defense. Like somebody today was like, well, in fairness, fairness, Marco's never been able to play defense. And I'm like, okay. Like, he's especially bad at it now. I mean, like, Pop has to know at this point that Marco and Bryn and Patty and DeMar are not great perimeter defenders. Having 2 of them on the court together at the same time, I mean, not good. Yeah, Trey Lyles, 0 points tonight. It's weird because he's starting, but he's only playing, like, 15 minutes a game, and then Pop is going to Rudy Gay down the stretch. Um, I guess that's kinda smart if you wanna, preserve Rudy for when it matters most. Um, but then again, Rudy hasn't been very good this year. Rudy played 20 minutes tonight, 7 points, 3 of 4 from the floor, 5 rebounds, had a block. Um, I mean, his biggest problem this year has been the perimeter defense and the three-point shooting. But his perimeter defense has been real rough. Kawhi burned him tonight on that dunk. Um, and yeah, he really can't stay in front of anybody who's trying to get past him, which is rough. Uh, yeah, yeah. Bryn Forbes playing transition defense on Kawhi Leonard. That did not go so good. That was a little rough. Um, yeah, this roster just isn't it. Just not it. Um, and like, I mean, could you imagine if they kept on at this trajectory, got to the trade deadline, and they had done nothing? At this point, they would be at that point they would be like a 20 and 40 team, something around there. Um, maybe 20 and 35. And if they just sucked their way into like the lottery, but not good lottery, uh, let DeMar walk for nothing, that would be terrible. Yeah, this has been a tough season, guys. Um, it's just not fun anymore. This is not fun to watch. And you think like I know all of you, like me, have been seeing this happen, and you've been like, "Okay, well, clearly if I'm seeing this happen, then they've gotta be seeing this happen, right? They have they must they must see this happening, right?" And then we get 25 Marco Bellinelli minutes. Don't make no sense. Well, I mean, the good news is nobody expected the Spurs to win this game, right? Uh, they're just not that good this year, folks. Uh, and it's weird. It is weird to just accept that the Spurs are not good because they're not, and that's a bummer. All right. Well, we'll see how they move on from this one. Uh, who do they have next? They don't play on Christmas. That's good. Got the Grizzlies next on the 23rd. That's a real measuring stick game. Measuring stick games used to be like, you know, playing a team like the Clippers, like a good team. You see how you stack up against the best in the league. Now, the measuring stick game, you expect them to lose that game. Now the measuring stick game is how do they play against a lottery bound rookie led team? Literally the best possible thing that could happen in that game is John Morant jumps clean over both Bryn Forbes and Marco Bellinelli, killing them both, ending their basketball careers forever. Uh, yeah, no, there's a serious possibility that we see Bryn Forbes and or Marco Bellinelli attempting to guard John Morant in this game. Uh, it's grim. This is grim, Spurs fans. Well, good news is we're in it together. And yeah, I mean, I'm always going to be here whether they're losing by 25 or beating the Grizzlies. So, uh, yeah, I'll I'll take a look at this tape if my stomach can handle it. Um, but I mean, nothing on this tape is going to make me say, "Oh, you know what? The Spurs actually have a a good team this year," because they don't, and they're bad. And that's sad. It's a big old bummer, guys. But hey, end of the day, it's still go Spurs go, right? Uh, thanks for hanging out. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night, you goblins. Go out, have a beer. I'm just kidding. I love you guys. All right. Thanks. See you soon. Bye bye.